Renting cars, getting paid as a driver. Today's topic. Holy shamoly. I actually saw the exact same Hornet today in town. Not the RT, but it's a GT, same bumper, same everything. I don't know what it is about the blue steel, but it seems to be the one that people are buying around here. Actually, when I was at the dealership, I originally wanted an All-Trek and I was hoping it would tow, but it doesn't. And but they had that blue color, and I was like, oh, maybe I hope there's that blue color on the lot. And there wasn't, and it didn't tow anyway. And I ended up with the Hornet. Besides the point. So, so one of the words I'm not supposed to say. I've had this continuous thing happening out here because it's been it's been difficult to find a full-time job. I originally started with a part-time job, ended up with a better part-time job, and was still able to keep my original part-time job. There's a lot of part-time jobs going on here. Then I landed another part-time job that had 3 employers, and I ended up working for them, and nothing but problems with payment from them. Nothing but problems. And it didn't matter what. There's the municipality. You submit you were on the payroll, and twice somebody in the system lost my timesheet, and it's not a lot of money. Like, it really isn't. It was like one shift, maybe two shifts on the one shift on the other, and I'm like, I didn't get paid this week. She's like, oh, somebody somewhere lost the page sheet and had to track it, and they only pay monthly. So first time it went 2 months, and I'm like, can I, like, no, I'm being charged, $50 fees from my bank for these things not going through. I have payments to do, and I was counting on that money. You work a job because you count on money, right? And I'm being charged $50 fees. Like, I really want to charge you $50 fees. And she said, well, you can't do that because it's not in the employer-employee agreement sort of thing, right? And I said, can I get this on the next pay period with everybody else who's working in the office that's on a bi-weekly thing? Or and they said, no, you have to wait so I had to wait 2 months for a paycheck twice. And that's just that one employer. With that same kind of employer, there's two other things happening. One, I can charge cash and get e-transferred or paid cash immediately on the job, basically. And that has been working out better than everything else. Then there's this other service. Like, I'm working for auxiliary hospitals and things, and I'm taking people out shopping and to do things, and they issue a check to my address. And I totally forgot about it, but my first check from them I never received. I actually wrote it off because I was dealing with the other I was dealing with the other lost my lost my pay sheet trying to get paid from the parent company, and it finally worked out and I got money. I'm like, thank God. I totally forgot about this other one. But this other one, they lost that first check. I got paid, I think, for the second one, or maybe not. Like, at this point, I was like frustrated and done. Like, this isn't working out. I'm working this part-time job, and I have this other part-time. They pay right away. My other part-time job. This full-time job that I'm working now is actually for them. I've never had a pay hiccup with them. Kind of why I went full-time with them. The second place, the part-time job that I was working for, it was actually a good part-time job, but it didn't pay enough. There was how the pay worked out was kind of weird, and I never ended up with an actual full check. Maybe a couple times a year. It doesn't really matter. I ended up leaving them, even though it was one of the best places I've ever worked. It, I just couldn't. I, the money wasn't there. The money wasn't there. But besides the point. Besides the point. So I had this gig with this other employer that had three employer. This other driving job that I had that had three employers. The actual employer lost my pay stubs or my payroll sheet. There was the little bit where people would call me up privately and I could go out and do little things, and that worked out for everybody except the boss. The boss that's running everything, she hasn't paid me yet. That's the caveat on that one. But then the third one is driving for the auxiliary hospital things and taking these people out and driving them around to go shopping and stuff. And they lost, I guess, too, because I'm dealing with phone calls now. Hey, we have this check bouncing around still, and I thought I phoned them up and said, hey, no, like the last I got paid for the last one. The last time I talked with the lady, she said the same thing. Like, there's this check bouncing around. And I'm like, well, I finally got it. And there was a check stop payment on the check that was there, and I was issued a new one, and I got it. But no, that wasn't it. I had totally forgotten the original time that I drove for them. I never got paid due to all this thing. So whatever's happening over there in that part, whatever's in the water, I'm not getting paid by those people. So life in Canada 2025. And I'm not some idiot. Like, people want me, I'm in high demand. I'm just gonna like, I have to say no. No. Fend for yourself. You're not paying. Done. Done, done, done. And they're not paying anything. They're not paying anything. The part-time job that I left, that was actually the good one, that the one that I enjoyed the most, they were paying 25 something. That's the most that they could pay. And I'm like, but every time I went for a job, like I was on Indeed, I'm trying to get stuff, and they're all paying even less than that. It's like $20 an hour. And I'm like, dude, I'm experienced. It doesn't matter. I'm experienced up the wahoo. And the only reason I can command more than $20 is because of that. And I'm like, I went to my trade and I applied for my trade in this province, and they're offering $26 an hour. Possibly 30 if I go in there and negotiate, but it's going to be an hour and a half drive through rush hour traffic. And I'm like, not enough. I'm like, hire, I'm going to say immigrant, hire the foreign worker, because that's what they're after. They're only calling me and talking to me to say that they can click a box saying, I tried a Canadian. And then I got to deal with this where I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid for that crappy amount of dollars. So I drove the boss of this other company with three employers and all of that, right? And losing my paychecks, and I'm not getting paid from that part of the country. And I'm like, and she's complaining, I can't keep drivers, can't keep drivers. And I'm like, I get it now. If you're not on time with the money, there's no way. I don't care what hours you give. And she itemizes the hours. That's the other thing, right? Makes the hours as little as possible. Not only that, on the private stuff where I'm supposed to negotiate my wage with private people and I get paid right away, I've been putting I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do. It is all so confusing. I'm like, do we accept tips? I drove for parents, and I'm like, I'm no, no, no. I'm not supposed to take tips, but yeah, I'll accept tips, but I'm not supposed. Like, I don't. No, you don't have to. Because she's saying, did he? Her dad, right? Did he give you a tip? Did he give you a tip? And I'm like, well, yeah, but I said, no, 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 you don't have to. And she's like, no, no, no. For that program, you're allowed to say, I accept tips, and you're allowed to command a tip. And I'm like, but for the other program, you're not supposed. I'm like, this is now too confusing. Either we do or we don't, or you drive for one or the other. I don't know. Like, it's up to me. Like, all of this is up to me. I was confused the entire time that I've been working at. I'm like, what wage am I working at? And I thought it was like 23 something, and then we got a pay raise to 20 something or whatever. I was putting on these auxiliary hospitals, like I'm 24.50, somewhere around there. It's 24.77 or whatever. And I'll give you a deal. And then I'm over the phone driving with her parents for this private deal where I've been charging, like, negotiating a thing like $25 an hour. And I talked to her dad, and he's like, "Oh, just bill her." Right. I'm like, okay. And I called her right away afterwards and said, your dad said to bill you. So, like, what do I put on this receipt thing? Right. Said what I've been charging is like 24.50 because I was at 23 something when I was first hired. Then you said we got this pay raise, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is because I'm so confused by your program that you got going on. And she goes, no, it's 23.50. I was like, oh, okay. You got me to drive your parents around. Okay, no problem. I'll write it up. There you go. This is the total bill. She's all, I'll e-transfer you the money, and that was a week and a half ago. I thought, okay, well, payday is at the end of the month. Da, 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 da. I got this biweekly thing. She works biweekly. We're working at the same cousin company thing, and I'm like, I'm not. I don't have the money from her. I've been fronting money actually, submitting bills, and I'm like, okay, not getting paid. I know why you can't. She had drivers quit on her. We've actually been working together to try to get runs done. I had to take one of hers. She had to take one of mine. I ended up doing her parents because she couldn't do it. It's been a wild month of driving, a wild, wild month of driving here in wherever we are in Alberta. And I've been taking, I think I mentioned it in videos, ambulance calls because ambulance can't take it. And the hospitals are phoning me because I have a bus. They've been calling her. And if she can't take them, I've been taking them. Like, we've been working, I was working flat out for 2 weeks. We don't keep record, but I do. And even though the 160-kilometer radius thing applies, like, I'm not gonna. I was at 100 hours that week, and she had an extra run after her parents the next day. She had a run for that nobody could fill, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like, I'm past my hours. Like, if I was to get in that bus that day and drive, and it was going to be an 11-hour run, and I'm like, can't do it, can't do it. I'm past hours, and even after all that, no, she's not paying. Like, I know what's going on over there now. Like, paying people isn't a thing. Paying people isn't a thing. I actually talked with the lady from the auxiliary hospital to find that first check that I never got paid for that I completely forgot about. I said, look, I don't know what's going on over there in Mayerthorpe, and it's not just your program, but that whole thing over there, I'm actually having trouble getting paid out of Mayerthorpe in general. I don't know what's in the water, but you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I don't know what's going on, but that's what's going on. Saying these drivers are in high demand, you need drivers. I show up, I do the work, and then you don't want to pay, or it gets lost in the mail, or it gets lost. My time. Yeah, no, no. I'm doing the work for money. I'm not some. We had this at Handy Dart. We had this in Handy Dart. There was a guy there who was basically driving around because, well, he was retired, he had money, the whole thing, and he just did it because he loved doing it. The buddy drove a Ferrari, not the F12, the one before the F12. You know, the two-seater with the hatchback, right? Um, Not a 458. Steve, I sent you a picture. You know which one I'm talking about. It was that light blue Ferrari thing parked in between the buses. For fine. Before they brought up the F12, the one before that, and oh geez, I can't. It was one that I actually wanted. I should look it up. I should look it up because he was everything that he made there at Handy Dart. His entire paycheck went towards taxes. He donated it for a tax receipt. Um, Ferrari. It was during the time of the F. Was it the 599? Yeah, it's 599. That's what it was. It was a 599. Yep. And it was that mint light blue thing. That was the color on it. And that's what he drove into work every other weekend. Every other weekend. And no, dude, I don't care. I'm just doing this for shits and giggles. Right? But we're not all like that. That's the one off, right? And actually she is like that. She's got money, she's got a farm, and she kind of does this for shits and giggles. And the money isn't the big deal, but for everybody else it is, right? And that attitude shows through. Nobody's getting paid. It seems to be, yeah, it was the 599. Yeah, the V12 599. Yeah. It's one of the Ferraris I'd buy if I could. Getting paid as a driver seems to be a problem. I just had to discuss with my boss. I'm like, yeah, okay, they canceled, and this seems to be a thing. Like we're getting canceled at the last minute, so there has to be a cancellation fee because we're a new bus program, basically, right? And if you're established and things like that, people do not cancel, especially for the medical runs. And if they're going to cancel a medical run, they're calling it and it's booked in advance and at the last minute, like the same day, where we got to call in a driver and pay them to come in, there has to be a cancellation fee. There has to be a cancellation fee because we got to pay people and we have to limit the loss on the money, right? Getting paid as a driver seems to be, well, been watching those Indian truck driver videos here in Canada, and it seems to be a problem. Seems to be a problem. I've got it good ish compared to them. I'm not driving millions of hours for nothing. I'm driving a few hours a day or week or whatever it is, and I'm kind of getting paid. Even then, I'm not even getting paid for it. I'm being asked to front it up, be the bank, and then being reimbursed, and then looking at the reimbursement and going, "This isn't covering it." Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, 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 yeah. Take them all to court for $20. Like, especially with the other place, I'm not even getting paid paychecks from them. Never mind reimbursements. Whoever, whatever. This is the state of driving in Canada. Tell me your stories in the comments. Tell other people your stories in the comments because it is not on the up and up. It is shifty. I don't care if you're Uber, Lyft, a cab driver, a long haul truck driver. Amazon is shifty, very shifty, but there's a trickle down. Whoever's doing the best in this and they have a story, it all trickles down to us little tiny little bus drivers that run around people or packages, right? It doesn't go up, it comes down. Trickle down effect. Talked about it before. Watch that video. Who knows? Say something in the comments because it's weird. See you on the next one. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit a like button. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. Don't forget to, well, always remember to hit a like. Always remember, if you're new, consider subscribing. Next video might be for you. And if you are a subscriber, remember to hit the notification bell because I think I'm trying to do Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekend, and I'll fit in videos every other day. Right now, I'm kind of limiting the content because I haven't had the hours. Haven't had the hours to make extra videos. Considering a Patreon, let me know what you think about that in the comments. If you want to see extra videos that I delete, let me know. All right, see you on the next one.